안녕하세요 everyone! 여러분, I'm going to share with you guys my really brave moment because I actually confessed to my crush that I liked him this year. So, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but let's start with the backstory. So how did I meet this guy? So basically the way I met this guy was that we're in the same school club together, and when I first saw him, that I remember at least, we just kind of looked at each other and then, you know, didn't talk to each other. I knew his name, I knew he was the same age as me, or born in the same year, but that's pretty much it. And I don't think he knew who I was because I had only seen him a couple times. He ran for the e-board in our club and he got his position. After that, I kind of was MIA from the club because that quarter that I was MIA, I had a class, but it was like really early in the morning and we met up at 3 p.m.
I didn't go for that whole quarter and everyone was like, oh Valerie, where were you? Like blah blah blah. And I was just like, oh, like, you know, I just explained to them. And anyway, so in that quarter that I was absent from the club, I basically had this class, Psychology 150, which is like the basic psychology that you have to take for your TEs. And I had a friend named Jennifer, I love her to death. And
guess who ends up being in that class with me? It's this guy. I didn't really notice him at the beginning. I started noticing him when our teacher during our lecture would like set examples, because psychology, you know, people, examples. So he would set examples, like one I specifically remember he participated in, and he participated a lot usually, and I think that's why I started noticing him.
There was one where there was like this Hispanic lineup, or Chicano lineup, and he was basically showing that if you were like a lighter Chicano, you wouldn't be judged as hard as if you were darker. So he ended up being one of the lighter guys, and then yeah, so then after that I started noticing him.
And I like looked at him differently because I thought he was actually pretty cute. My friend Jennifer knew this because I'm very open about my feelings and like who I think is attractive and not. So I feel like everyone knows like what my type is, at least if you know me personally. He basically was a different kind of guy that I had been interested in. I don't know, something about him made me really attracted to him.
Even though I make it seem like I'm very outgoing here, I'm actually really shy when it comes to like boys, and I've only told the guy I liked them one other time besides this time.
I didn't talk to him that whole quarter, and there was an event for that same club, and at this point I already kind of liked him. Like I thought he was really cute at this point, so he made me really shy whenever like saw him. I went to this place called Round One, and it's basically like an arcade slash, it's in a mall, it's an arcade, it's a bowling alley, it's a karaoke place, and there's like a ton of other stuff. Kind of like a Dave & Buster's, but like the arcade is more like Asian themed, so like Japanese games and stuff. Is pretty cool. Being the weird person I am, I checked on the event page if he was going, and it didn't look like he was gonna go. So I was like, okay, at least I can spend time and not be like worried about making a fool out of myself, right? So I go, and my friend Ellie is there.
Me and her are not too close at that point, but we know each other, and you know, we like to hang out together. So we're just kind of walking around and stuff, and then we go into the actual mall food court.
And when we get there, there's like a bunch of other people from other schools that are in the same club. You know, I see him come into the food court with some of his friends, and I'm like, fuck! Okay. I was like happy to see him, but at the same time I was like, damn it, I don't want to embarrass myself. I was just kind of here to like spend some time like with my club, you know? So I didn't really talk to him.
I mean, I like him more because I saw like his personality more, so I started liking him more. And then fast forward to the final week of that same quarter.
Since we had psychology together, I finished early and I went outside of the lecture hall, and my friend Jennifer, she took a little longer than me, so I was gonna wait for her, and then we were gonna like compare answers, you know, see if we did okay and stuff like that. So I was waiting outside, and I'm very loner, so I was sitting like on a pillar like behind me, and then I was just on my phone like scrolling through Instagram and listening to music with one earbud. I don't know why I was only using one earbud. I'm scrolling through Instagram, you know, liking things, like double tapping, whatever, and then I see him come out.
And I'm just like, from my peripheral vision I saw him, so I was like this, and I was like, oh my gosh, please don't talk to me, because at that point I was still super shy, and I didn't want to talk to him. So like I kept scrolling, I was like, please don't talk to me, please don't talk to me, and then he starts walking away.
And then like I feel relief, right? And then he like backtracks, and then he's like, hey, so how did you do on the final? So that was the first time I talked to him, and ever since I've kind of not gotten over my little crush or me thinking he's cute or whatever. Fast forward to like our second year of college. Basically he's already, you know, a part of the e-board, so I have more excuses to interact with him. He knew my name at this point, and nothing significant really happened. For Christmas, I got him a gift, and at this point we were kind of mentor-mentee.
So I don't know if you guys know what that is, but he was my mentor and I was his mentee, and I was like, it's like a group, or we call them families, and he's kind of like the head of the family, and then there's like 4 other people that like he basically raises. So yeah, he texted me, and then we started texting.
But he wasn't very interactive, so I kind of stopped trying because I didn't want to seem like I was bothering him, so I kind of stopped texting him. For Christmas, I got him a gift.
And he hugged me like really hard, and like I was turning red, and I gave it to him during the club meeting. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have just gave it to him after, because then everyone was like, oh, like, this is so sweet. And I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh my gosh, I should have done this later. So I did that, and then
a couple months later, it's almost Valentine's Day, and I made like, I love Valentine's Day. I don't know if you guys know that, but I adore Valentine's Day.
Made treats, like Rice Krispie treats with like a twist, and I made him one, and I was gonna tell him that Wednesday, the Wednesday before Valentine's Day, that I liked him. It didn't work out, and he had to go, he had class like right after the meeting, so I was like, okay, whatever.
A week later, I decided to tell him, and the meeting ends, and I just go up to him. He's signing up for something, and I'm like, hey, can I talk to you, like, after this? And then he's like, okay, well, if you want to talk, we have to talk like right now, because I have to go to class in like 10 minutes. So I grab him by the wrist and I take him outside, and I pulled him outside of the classroom because we were having a meeting in the classroom. And we go into the hall, and it's busy because people are waiting for their classes, and I'm just like, screw it, I don't care.
I start up with a question because I had actually invited him to go bowling with me and a couple friends, and you know what this boy did? He brought another boy. So instead of 6 people there to a lane, we had 7 people, and we had to get 2 lanes. And I didn't really end up getting to talk to him, which made me really sad.
Because that was like the whole point of inviting him. So I started with that. So I literally told him, so do you know why like I invited you to go bowling with us? And then he kind of like thought about it, and he was like, to hang out? And I was like, well, yeah, to hang out, but I actually kind of wanted you to be like my partner. And then I guess it clicked in his head, and he was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, right? And I'm just like, it's okay. And like, he's like, oh my gosh, I totally like effed up, huh? And I was like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, boo, yes, you did. After he says that, I'm like, the reason I wanted you to be my partner is because I have a crush. And then like my voice, like, I was like, I have a crush on you. And then he kind of stops, and he's like, what? Like, in his face, like, you could read it. He was like, what? And then I was like, yeah, so that's all I had to tell you. And then he's like, oh my gosh, my mentee, my little, has a crush on me. He calls me little because big little. And he's like, oh my gosh, my little has a crush on me. I'm like, yeah. So then we're like walking back into the classroom, and I'm feeling super awkward, and I'm kind of like, you know, it's like fight or flight. I was like, flight, let's get the F out. He's still kind of like processing it. He's like, wow, I'm usually the one that tells the girl that I like them. And I'm like, well, there's a first time for everything. So then I call my friend Ellie, who's like a club friend that I have, and I'm just like, Ellie, are you ready? Can we go? And she's like, oh yeah. And then he hugs me like goodbye, right? And I'm just like, oh, don't do this to me, I want to leave. So he hugs me goodbye, I'm like, oh, bye. And then Ellie comes with me, right? And then as soon as we're about to head out the door, the president stops her and is like, oh, did you pay, blah blah blah. And then she's like, oh, I have to talk to him, right? The guy I just confessed to. And I'm just like,
okay, I'll wait for you outside. So I literally like bolted out of there, and like I held the door open, and I was just like, I cannot stay in there anymore. This is so embarrassing.
Ellie comes out, and then she's just like, did you tell him? And I'm like, yeah. So yeah, that's my story. I know it's really long. I'm sorry, I like to ramble on a lot. If you guys want an update, since then we've only talked once. I text message him once in a while, just to like any kind of, since it's like finals week right now, I just kind of texted him like, oh, good luck on your finals. And I was like, thanks, you too, you know, nothing enthusiastic. But he hasn't acted all weird with me or anything, so I appreciate that.
Maybe he's still, you know, figuring out if he likes me or if he doesn't, blah blah blah. Cross your fingers, guys. I need absolute help because I don't think he likes me, but you never know, right?
So yeah, that was my story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more from me. And I guess I'll just see you guys next time. Tagayo! Okay. This hair is gonna be bothering me this whole time. Okay. Anyway, so nice blooper.